Good morning, welcome back. It is Wednesday, sometime in May, and it's a grey, dreary day, but behind you, my phone, over there is a big green field, and I can still see birds, the odd rabbit, that kind of thing, so it's quite nice. We've got a quiet house today. My son and his girlfriend have gone away for a couple of days to Manchester. So we've got plenty to do. I've got orders to pack, I've got things to list. I wanted to show you some of the things that I've put on my website because I've not really promoted my website at all since we moved. I've still got the silver jewellery and the wax melts on there, but I've also added some new items. So I thought what I'd do is each month I would pick out 10 things that I really like and give you the opportunity to buy them before I then put them on eBay and stuff like that. Obviously you can go on my eBay shop, links in the description box to Lincolnshire pickers, but I just thought, you know, give you a bit of an exclusive on my website. So I've got 10 things to show you. Then I've got something else that I got in more recently that I haven't put on my website yet, but I'm going to work on it today, which I'm going to show you. And I thought we'd just have a little chat about how things are going. I think me and my husband worked flat out for weeks and weeks, and then we both sort of hit the wall. He's been a bit poorly because of it, so his body is telling him to slow down because he works even harder than I do. And I just hit the wall, physically couldn't do as much. And I've come out with like a big eczema patch around my eye, which is probably from rubbing my eyes from being tired, or sometimes I've got really sensitive skin around my eyes. Sometimes if I've washed my face and then not dried it properly before putting cream on, that can cause it. And because I've been rushing, I haven't spent as much time as I normally would doing that kind of thing. So I've got to slow down a bit. Easier said than done when you've got so much going on. Fingers crossed still about the house. We're still hoping for good news soon. It's not quite yet, but soon. So there's that going on in the background, and other stuff from down south that we're still dealing with. But so far, eBay's going really well. We're just trying to get stuff up on there and source stock. I mean, that's a constant thing, isn't it? Just going out and trying to find new stock to source, to put on the internet to sell. So that we're just constantly researching and looking for new avenues, that kind of thing. Still loving being up here. It's nice, the wider roads, nicer to drive around on. When you're in the car driving around, you can see the countryside instead of just big hedges, which is nice. Yeah, just it's going really well. It's just fingers crossed that the sale goes through down south and that we can buy our house. Basically, we've got everything crossed for that. This is fine, this house. It's just a little bit small for 4 of us and to run a business from. So sooner the better, really. What else have I got to tell you? Sales wise, eBay's going well. Etsy, zero, nada, nothing, not one. I had about 3 sales that first week when I first switched it back on, but one was Jilly, so thank you, Jilly. I don't know, the 2 others might have been from people who watch YouTube, but I know Jilly. But then nothing since, 0. And it's just, I've been trying to put a bit on sort of regularly to keep the algorithms going, but not one sale. And I know I've got some nice things, so I don't really get it. So haven't quite made my mind up, but I am going to be finishing with Etsy. I'll either let those things run out or I'll take them off immediately and list them somewhere else. Maybe eBay, but I was looking into a new selling platform called Narchi, Have you heard of Naartje? Do you know anything about Naartje? Have you sold on Naartje? Have you bought from Naartje? It looks quite good, but I just don't know whether they've got the footfall yet and whether it'd be a waste of time, a bit like Etsy really. You see, Etsy I thought it used to be ideal years ago when I first started reselling. I loved Etsy, had low selling fees, you could get a bit more for your money. It was a little bit slower than eBay, but generally you could get a better percentage and less fees, and it was a nicer platform, more friendly platform. But I think as it's expanded, they've not curated their sellers, so you've got a lot of mass-produced stuff on Etsy now, and they're pushing more to reorderable stuff, so less vintage and more. It was my husband who was bringing up some towels. We had some towels drying outside. I can't understand why they didn't dry because it was so windy yesterday, and I had them out on a airer. And they weren't totally dry, so I had to leave them in the lounge overnight. We need to tidy up. One, because we need the space, but two, the landlord's coming around today for some reason, so I thought better make an effort. No, what was I saying? Yeah, Etsy. So they're pushing more. I was watching like an Etsy consultant person on YouTube, and he was saying that the algorithms push towards reorderables. So if something is ordered and you've got another one the same, it will push you up the algorithms. Well, obviously with vintage stuff, you don't have more of the same. So it's just such a shame. But it's been going downhill for years. And to be fair, a lot, like when I first started selling on Etsy, I sold a hell of a lot to America. But then the postage fees and everything just became monstrous, so I stopped selling to America. So mine's only UK only now, so that's not in my favour either, is it? So yeah, so I'm going to look more into Naartje. So if you've heard of them, used them, sold with them, whatever, let me know in the comments what your experience is and what you think of it. Have you ever heard of Naartje? Because I've barely heard of them. Somebody mentioned it and then I googled them, and then I can see some stuff on Google, but I haven't heard a lot of people talking about them. So it's supposed to be like the homewares version of Depop apparently, so we'll see. I'll have a look into that a bit more. Yeah, so that's my experience so far of this reselling thing. eBay is going really well, and I think because the four of us have such varied knowledge of things, there's a real mixed bag on there. So I've got some vintage and antique stuff up on our eBay shop. Then we've got sort of the Wii games and the Wii consoles and computery sort of based things that my son and his girlfriend are more into. And then we've sold golf clubs and all sorts that my husband's picked up. So yeah, it's a real mixed bag of things on our eBay shop. So hopefully that will keep it always moving and always changing. Regards to my antique centres, it's still too early days to know. I know I've sold the hand. You know, the hand. When we went to put it in, and my husband never liked the hand. I really liked the hand. I would have kept the hand, but he said, oh, who's going to want to buy that? I was like, you watch, it'll sell. And within a day or two, it had sold. So yeah, so I know the hand sold and a couple of other bits from Horncastle. Borough's a bit slow, but we went and did a little bit of a change around there last week. We decided to have a different sort of pricing policy there, and just to sort of keep it cheap and cheerful, if you know what I mean. As in, I've still got nice stuff there. I've got some Denby, and I've got some Evesham, and I've got some Hornsey, and yeah, there's some nice things. But I've decided to keep the price point that bit lower there. So we started on that last week by going and changing prices on things. So maybe that'll get things going a bit there. And then Louth, we've not been back since we put it all in. So when we go, hopefully tomorrow, I'll have some idea whether things are selling or not. but I was really pleased with how it looked, so fingers crossed people like it. Right, I'm going to pack some orders and get some listing done and show you the bits that I put on my website, and something else that I got random, which I wanted to offer to you before I try and sell it elsewhere. Okay, let's go, let's move. Packing up some orders. Did I show you that I'd picked this up the other week? Which sold it, so he's on his way. If I didn't show it on this channel, I would have done it on the Lincolnshire Pickers. I'm trying to do hauls on there more than on here. This is more just day-to-day what I'm up to, that kind of thing. So if you want to watch hauls, go and watch Lincolnshire Pickers. I'm watching, well, we're watching Rancid Gonzo, although he's not called Rancid Gonzo anymore, Bundles of Books, while we're packing and getting on with jobs. It's about 10 o'clock and it's still very dark and dreary outside. Look at that, it's not very inviting. So I thought I'd show you what I was talking about earlier, something that I picked up that I'm going to put on my website and see if you're interested in buying them. They are some t-shirts. They're this brand. They are organic cotton. Let me find one of the leaflets, one sec. So this is the brand, Scarabaeus Caesar. Global Organic Textile Standards, Egyptian cotton. Sustainable, ethical, premium quality clothing, 100% organic Egyptian cotton. Now these t-shirts are super soft. I don't have loads of them, you can see they're the boxes, but I thought I'd show you some of the designs. So I have limited numbers of different sizes. This is the first one, a white one like this. You'll have to go onto my website to see what size is available. What I'll do is I'll do a pit to pit measurement and a shoulder to hem measurement. So they're quite long in the body. You can see that they come down. Can you see that? They've got like a curved edge at the bottom. I've tried one on. They're super soft. I can't really get that across to you how soft they are, and the quality is really good. The ladies ones, I've only got one style of men's, but the ladies ones have a wider opening around the collar. So I've got this white colour. This one's a small. Can't remember, I'll have to look at the boxes to see what other sizes I've got in that white one. Then there's this maroon, which I absolutely love this maroon. I think it's a really lovely colour. This is extra large. As I say, I will put some measurements on my website if you're interested. So they're all brand new in the boxes. Some of the boxes do have marks on the outside, which I think is probably why I got them sold off. Some are better than others. Can you see that one's quite marked? But inside they're absolutely perfect. Then there's this fab design. Look at that. I'm not quite sure who that's by or what it's meant to mean, but if that resonates with you, this one's a men's, so you can see the collars that bit smaller. That's a men's medium, that one. Beautiful sort of turquoise green colour, and that's with the same design, but that's a ladies one, so it's got that wider collar. That's a large. I think actually that's a wider collar than the other one. You see that goes all the way across, whereas that one's slightly more rounded. What I'll do is I'll photograph them so you can see them as well. And then I've only got one of these. But how cool is that? And that one is in a large. And again, that's got that really wide collar, like that all the way across. That's gorgeous. So you can see I don't have loads and my sizings are limited, but I'll put them on my website if you're interested. I'm selling these at £8 each. I don't know how much they would have cost new, but considerably more than that. And as I say, they're pure organic Egyptian cotton and they feel super soft. Right, I've just come to start doing my notes and it's a little bit more complicated. I was going by the boxes, so this one has come out of this box. So it says men's extra large. It is extra large, but I think this is a woman's t-shirt because it's got that wider neckline, and also at the bottom it's got that curved hem. To me that's a woman's, whereas this looks like a man's to me. That's got that round neckline and then a straight hem at the end. So I'm going to class the women's ones as these with the wider neckline and ignore the box as to what it says. So if you do order them and the box looks different, you'll know why I've done that. It's about 11:30 and I'm still working on these t-shirts. Because they've got slightly different cuts and stuff, it kind of makes measuring it more difficult, and I'm not sure that the sizing necessarily corresponds too well. So what I thought I'd show you how I've measured. I'm doing like a pit to pit, which is kind of standard depending on how the t-shirt's cut. I'm doing my best. And then for the length, I'm doing it from the top of the collar here to the longest point here, because you've got that curve. Right. Although it's really quiet here today, it feels like chaos in my brain. In my brain, chaos is going on. Dealing with the sale of the house down in Devon, and I don't know, feels like you can't just let solicitors and stuff to get on with their own job. You have to chase them up, and then when you chase them up, you're kind of like dismissed as if you're being a bother, but they don't do the job. Anyway, I'll do this quickly because I think the landlord's going to be around in a few minutes. So I thought I would show you those 10 things that I've picked out to put on my website. For whatever reason, I can't remember now why I picked these out. Some of the things I just really liked. Some I thought are really cool, but you'd only see how good they are, not just from a photo, but from me actually showing you them. So I'm just going to make a start. I'm not sure what order they are on my website, but you will find them easy enough if you get there. First of all, I have got 3 of these, which I'm selling separately. So you know, like the German smokers where you put the incense underneath and then the smoke comes out here? It's along those lines. Beautiful wood turned, handmade snowmen. I know it's not quite the season, but they are absolutely gorgeous. And I've got 3 different designs of them. So he's the first. He's got a little feather in his cap, a big red nose and a cigar. And the hole's drilled there, so it would just come out through his mouth there. So that's the first one. The second one, he's got a hat on with a big red bowl on the top. He's got a cigarette in like a cigarette holder, look, that's cool. You can see the hole where the smoke would come through. And they're beautifully hand carved. Oh, and they are all inside there. You can see that they've been signed. So this one says BTH, which is the signature of the maker, I guess. And then it says 7-16. So I don't know, was it made in July 2016 or is it 7 of 16 that he made the same? I don't know. But that's one of them. He's cool. The first one says 5 of 20. So whether he made 20 of these or whether it was made in May 2020, I'm not sure. I can't imagine that you could make a lot of the same design. And so this one says 6/17, so maybe June 2017. He's got a very pointy carrot nose and a pipe top hat. He's a jolly looking fellow. So these are £15 each. And you'll find them on my website. I've got this pretty little studio pottery bud vase. Love this, simple. It's like a grey with greeny stripes going up, and it's all ribbed all the way down. It has got a maker's mark, but I couldn't decipher it. Maybe you know better, but I couldn't work out that maker's mark. I think I got this one up for £8. But that's really, really pretty, studio pottery. You think about the amount of work that's gone into that. Oh, these are cute. So this is a pack of snap cards. The box is a little bit damaged, you can see. There's no end to it there. But inside, the graphics on these cards are so cool. And I just thought, if you're into like card making or crafting, whatever, they're really, really cool. So you've got Humpty Dumpty, Little Jack Horner, Little Boy Blue, Little Boy Blue, Jack and Jill, Bar Black Sheep, Little Miss Muffet, Sing a Song of Sixpence, and Little Bo Peep. And I'm feeling, yeah, so there's even like a little instruction card. So considering that they're very old and the box is pretty broken, the cards aren't in bad condition. I just thought if you really like crafting, that kind of thing, they would make a really lovely addition. And I think I've put £6 on that pack. I've put these 3, I showed you these in one of my videos. We found these little gorgeous little birds, and I've put them on as one listing on my website for £10. They're Tremar pottery, which I think is Cornish. So that one's like a kingfisher, you see. Couldn't decipher what the other 2 were, but that's them. So I've done them as a listing of one listing for £10. These are pure kitsch. You see, these long neck cats are so kitsch, 60s. With the flower, hand-painted flower design, and does it say? Yeah, made in Japan. So look at that. I think they're in good condition, apart from one's got can you see a little dark mark there, but it's under the glaze, so it's obviously done before. Was there anything else? Oh, and that one just on the nose there, it's got a really slight chip in the glaze, but otherwise they're in really good condition. Can't remember how much I put on those, but they're sold as a pair. This is really super cool. You've seen him, Mickey Mouse, wooden Mickey Mouse. It's a proper sort of 50s one, I think. He is a money box, so there's his little padlock and key, and he does come open like that, so you can retrieve your money. So I'm going to put him back together again in a minute, but isn't he gorgeous? Look at that face. And he is £50 because that's his value. He's well worth it. Somebody asked about this on one of my videos, and I couldn't get access to my website just at that point because couldn't find where I was with things. And then I couldn't find the comment later on, I don't think. So I thought I'll put it on. If you're watching, you can see it now. It's a gentle plinky plunky. And then on the back, it is signed. Can you see there? And you can hang it up on your wall. Now, it has got a few issues. Can you see that? It's obviously been repaired with a bit of glue at some point. I think that one possibly as well. Can you see? But Darren hates it. Absolutely hates it. So how many things have I shown you? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so finally, of the 10 things, is a set of these 4 Bakelite napkin rings. I did test them, and they did test as Bakelite. So there's 4 of them. You can see like that what they're like. They're marbled. They're very slightly different, obviously, because they've got a slightly different pattern on them. Catalin, I think it's Catalin, can't get my words out today, Catalin Bakelite, which is a particular type of Bakelite. And I've got a set of those up at £50 on my website. On Etsy, I've got these at £25 each, free delivery. But as I said to you earlier, I don't know what I'm doing with my Etsy now. It's still all up in the air. So these will probably go on my eBay if they don't sell on my website. Right, that's it for now. I finally got those t-shirts on my website. Took me longer than I thought it was going to. Jenny's having a little snooze. This is just stock that we still need to work through. Jenny's having a snooze. Hubby's gone out with a package to deliver. He just needs to get out of the house because he's going a little bit crazy. Don't blame him, honestly. Between solicitors and estate agents. Anyhow, what else am I doing today? Well, I've packed up a couple of Vinted orders, but I'm going to leave the labels for my son to do because, I don't know, he said it was complicated and I don't want to even try. So I'm going to let him do that. If you wanted to look at my Vinted, there's not a lot on there. But what was my name again on Vinted? I said it before. I think it's KH11. Hang on, I'll go and have a look. It's Kirst H11. There you go. As I say, there's not a great deal on there, but you can have a look if you want to. What else have I got to tell you? Well, not a lot today. I'm going to be doing some listing on eBay. I've got those cute Mickey Mouse glasses to list. Super cute vintage Mickey Mouse glasses. I'm going to put those up on there, I think. And generally try not to go crazy. Thanks for sticking with me. As usual, you know that thumbs up for me or Jenny all help my algorithms. And if you haven't subscribed and you like general rambling, then go ahead, do that. In the meantime, take care, stay safe, and I will see you soon.